Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Average Trey, was pretty keen on going ahead and having Sid and I enter the 2v2 SMS Lockout Bingo tournaments with a team name all ready to go. We were going to go ahead and enter. However, my co-host Sid suggests that we give you one last week, one last chance to give us the perfect team name for our team. And yeah, go ahead. Put them down below, and if we choose yours or don't choose yours, that'll be up for us to see.
It's a live preamble.
Yes, that's my preamble live.
Yeah.
One take.
That was crazy.
I'm not ashamed to admit that some previous preambles have been like a couple takes stitched together. This one take.
It's not that we don't have any great suggestions, it's that we just haven't submitted our team name yet. So
yeah, we're looking for like the perfect name because it matters so much apparently.
Well, I was hesitant to ask people again this week, but you know what? Trey wanted to do it, and apparently it's my idea now. But that's cool. All right.
But hey, I'm good with it. We still got 1 week to enter. Why not? So yeah, just put them down below if you want.
Live preamble.
Yeah.
All right.
But with that out of the way, let's get on to the real video games are hard subject matter of this podcast. Yeah. We got a special guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everybody. I'm Pheonix spelled correctly. I play video games, and they're pretty hard.
Very nice. We would only bring gamers on here, I suppose. The video games are hard.
I feel like that's the first time we've had a guest introduce themselves.
I want to try something new.
It's just like, you want to introduce yourself? We don't do that.
Yeah, that's a little too much work for us.
Usually I do it. I'm like, Emo, he's really good. Like Calf, he's really good. Quan, he's a Pokemon nerd. Pheonix, he likes Halo, Reach, Forge. That's what he likes.
Yep, that's what I'm known for.
Yeah, he's really into that lately. He likes playing Yoshi's Circuit on Mario Kart Double Dash. Also a Mario Kart Double Dasher.
Does he like playing Yoshi's Circuit or Mario Kart Double Dash? Those are exclusive things.
Are they?
No.
I
guess that meme's dead anyway, because Pheonix has really branched out to other tracks in that game. He's a Double Dash speedrunner, by the way, and he's getting pretty good.
He dabbles in other games. He plays Rivals of Aether expertly at this point. He back in the day, he was a Halo forger. Lately, the Halo stuff came out, so he plays all that Forge stuff again. Mario Kart Double Dash. Oh, Titanfall 2.
Titanfall 2, yep.
And
you can't forget... Wait, I forgot the name of the game. Oh my god.
You can't forget.
Let's see what you got.
Oh yeah.
Let's see what you can do.
You can't forget the game, but you can sure forget the name of the game.
Let's see what you can get if you try hard enough. The game.
Let's see what you can do if you really believe in yourself.
Let's see what time you can achieve over a certain amount of time. Love that game. Classic. It looks like a fun game. I just love the naming memes that we have.
Yeah.
But before we get into Pheonix, all right?
Before we get into actual video game stuff, of course.
And it's not even pertaining to Pheonix. Pheonix can share his opinion as well. I just wanted to get into an off-topic thing from a previous week. And to start it out, I wanted to set it up with... So a few weeks ago, I shared my way that I know that the Christmas season is beginning. Where it's not that you see things in stores or like Christmas things in stores. That happens just after Halloween. That doesn't mean anything about Christmas season or anything like that. And also, Merry Christmas is going to be the Christmas episode.
Oh yeah, it's going to be Christmas Eve when this goes up. Hell yeah. So
everybody enjoy this episode, drinking your eggnog and preparing your cookies and carrots for Santa. That's how it goes nowadays.
Cookies and carrots.
But the way I know that the Christmas season is upon us is that the idiotic argument keeps cropping up where everybody argues that Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie for some reason. I don't know why this is a thing that keeps being brought up. It was brought up on the radio today. I was sitting in my car.
Oh, no way. Today?
I was sitting there brainstorming Trey's tweet from the other evening about Die Hard. and just like thinking how we want to talk about it tonight on the podcast. And on the radio, it popped up being like, you know what? There are people that think that Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie. They had a person on the phone talking about how it's obviously a Christmas movie, along with National Lampoon's and Miracle on 34th Street, one of the top 3 Christmas movies. And apparently all of their Instagram followers were unanimous in their hate for the idea that Die Hard was a Christmas movie. There are people out there, for some reason, that are dedicated to this idea that Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie.
And they're all on Instagram, so don't use Instagram.
Yeah. Horrible people use Instagram.
But Twitter, though, they actually know what's up.
They know the shit. Anyway, so this whole setup is because Trey has just recently seen Die Hard.
Yes.
For the first time. And
actually,
we have his opinion.
It wouldn't be entirely lying if I said I did, or wait, I confused myself. Part of me watched it specifically for the podcast, basically.
Yeah.
Definitely. But I was curious if it was something I would enjoy, if I was into. And most importantly, I wanted to see for myself if I would consider it a Christmas movie. And personally, I think this movie has more Christmas in it than some other Christmas movies do.
I would agree wholeheartedly with that.
I would say it is indeed a Christmas movie.
And I don't understand where this argument comes from. Pheonix, do you have any opinion on this subject?
Well, this is actually the first I've heard that people don't consider it a Christmas movie, but this is also the first time you guys have brought up that, like, it is a Christmas movie, because I didn't, I guess, think of it as a Christmas movie, but now that you say that, it seems like it would be, because, I mean, I saw it a while ago, but I don't know. I remember it being Christmassy.
It's pretty fresh in my mind because I watched it so recently. They actually reference the fact that it's Christmas Eve almost to the point of absurdity.
Yeah.
Like the usual action stuff's going on. You know, the cops are down there. They're doing their thing. Yada, yada. Whole action movie. Really good movie, by the way. I really enjoyed it. But it seems like they have like a 5-minute thing. Every 5 minutes, they gotta make some sort of Christmas reference. Like someone like hums a Christmas song, or there's like Christmas trees in the background. There's always some reference to Christmas every like 5 minutes or less.
The fact that the whole terrorist plot is happening around a Christmas party.
Yeah.
Like everything about, like, I don't understand. And I'm with you about the idea that this has more Christmas in it. This has more Christmas in it than It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah,
and that's what I brought up the first time. It's a Wonderful Life is not very Christmassy. The ending is somewhat Christmassy, but for some reason people unanimously think that It's a Wonderful Life is a Christmas movie, while they leave Die Hard in the cold, per se.
That's my dad's favorite movie, It's a Wonderful Life, and we actually watched it just about every Christmas. I think I just talked to Emo about it like last week because I watched it like last week.
Do you think It's a Wonderful Life is a Christmas movie?
I suppose it is, but it's the same way where it just kind of happens on Christmas. Like, I feel like that story could have happened at any time.
Well, it's not even... See, the whole thing about It's a Wonderful Life is that the ending is around Christmas. Like, it's a long movie. It's a long-winded movie, and then the ending is very, very Christmas. It just happens at Christmas, and he talks to an angel? He doesn't even talk to Santa Claus. He talks to an angel.
Yeah.
And then everything happens, and they talk about the bell ringing, and every time a bell rings, an angel gets its wings and stuff like that, but that just happens around Christmas time. So I don't know how this argument happens, and that's all I just want to get out again. Everybody, just spread the word. If you run into somebody that starts this argument, it happens every season. There's always these people that mention that Die Hard isn't a Christmas movie. Please, just either participate in the argument, like, passionately with the idea that Die Hard is a Christmas movie, or block them from every social media that you participate in and go about your life peacefully.
Honestly, I would opt for the going about your life peacefully argument, because are you honestly going to change people's minds on social media? That's not going to happen.
It's also a good point.
But, like, yeah, I don't know. I gotta watch It's a Wonderful Life again, because I've only ever watched that movie like it was a family tradition in our family too, but I probably haven't seen it since I was like 11 or 12, honestly. I gotta watch it again.
I would love if somehow we sparked some sort of conversation around It's a Wonderful Life. Because I would love, just instead of the Die Hard thing cropping up every year, I would love to argue that It's a Wonderful Life isn't a Christmas movie.
Yeah, let's have that.
Of this...
the opposite.
Yeah. I gotta watch that again, but after I watch it again, we'll have that.
Anyway, that's that. I wanted to cover that right off the top, so that you know what the important stuff got right away.
Yeah,
we got Pheonix spelled correctly in the wings.
After all,
we got Pheonix spelled correctly in the wings, so that we could get the important topics out first, and then we can talk to the Welcome to the Game 2 glitch finder.
Oh, we're exposing him already. I see. Okay,
Pheonix spelled correctly.
We were hyping him up to be this Double Dash legend, but in fact, he's actually best known for his Welcome to the Game 2 speedrun potential.
Potential.
you haven't speedrun the game, but you played it quite a bit, and you actually found something of your own in the game that may or may not be useful.
Yes, I did. So way back when the game came out, I don't even know how new it was when I started playing, but I think it was somewhat new. I discovered a glitch that like kind of clipped you out of the map, and actually ended up using it a bunch.
Sorry, before we get into this, do you want to explain what Welcome to the Game 2 is about, Pheonix?
Oh, yeah, sure. So for those of you who don't know, Welcome to Game 2 is basically a game where a girl has been kidnapped and is kind of being bid on / tortured in this dark net or like dark web site, and you play like a hacker who's like trying to find her so you can save her potentially. But there's also like these weird people from the dark web who are hunting you. Someone has a hitman coming after you, and some sites are like potentially dangerous as they like trigger other people to come find you. So it's literally a game where you're sitting at a computer browsing the dark web at all these like really creepy, repulsive websites, trying to find like bits of information that will eventually reveal the location of this girl you're trying to save.
Yeah, the maker of the game
it's actually a really cool game.
The maker of the game has a really big interest in the dark web. It's pretty clear from that.
Yeah. So you play as a journalist.
Yes.
Yeah. You play as a journalist that ends up finding out too much, and then you're just skating around trying to not get killed by the assassin, the big hacker guy that knows you're onto them, and the police. That's what you're trying to skate
the police are, that's another thing you have to avoid. So there's just like a lot of pitfalls to avoid while you're surfing the web, basically, is the gist of the game.
And for anybody within the Welcome to the Game 2 community, the glitch that we're about to talk about, I don't know who found it within the community or anything. We're not trying to take credit, or Pheonix isn't trying to take credit for anything. This is more of a PSA, and we'll get to the PSA portion of this.
Yes, the main point of this episode is for the PSA, not just Christmas, but this PSA.
But we're gonna cover what Pheonix found, and how he screwed up.
Don't be like Pheonix.
Don't be like Pheonix. That's the PSA. Anyway, so Pheonix, let's go into what you found.
So I found something that I guess I called it the bulletin board glitch, so the BBG. And all it was like there's kind of like a bulletin board like a cork board in your room that you can like look at little snippets of news on. They're just kind of like little Easter egg things that you don't really have to look at all during the gameplay. But I did one day on stream and discovered that if you look at two of them in a certain order, it clips you out of the map. Sort of. It doesn't really clip you out of the map. It like makes you become this omniscient camera that you can rotate around and like kind of go through walls and look into the hallway.
Oh, wait, so your character is still in the room, but just the camera moves outside the wall?
Yes, it seems so.
For anybody that knows Ocarina of Time, it's like hook shot, weird shot, where it's just Link doesn't move at all, but by like using a bomb and rolling into a wall or something, you can clip the camera below the map, and then you are still in the room, but your camera is below the map.
Oh, that's how that works. I always thought it put Link below the floor or something, but I guess
no, just
that makes more sense.
But the hookshot comes from the camera.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. So I used it a bunch during my run. So oftentimes when I'm trying to see if the hitman is coming to my room, I would set like motion alerts. So as soon as I heard a motion alert, instead of going and hiding like you're supposed to do, I would do the bulletin board glitch and look into the hallway to see if I could see him coming. And it worked. And you could see him walking down the hallway without him harming you because you're just kind of looking at him. You're not there. And and I didn't really think much of it. But at the time, I was like, maybe I should send this to the speedrunning community because I'd seen, I think it was just Distortion 2 doing a bunch of runs of it. And I was like, I don't know. It doesn't seem useful to speedrun to the naked eye. But I was like, whatever. Maybe they'll make something useful out of it. So yeah, a year later, after I haven't sent this into the community, I in fact just, I guess, kept quiet about it and stopped playing the game. Sid in a random VC was like, oh my god, Pheonix, there's this new glitch that's popping off in Welcome to Game 2, and I think it has something to do with the BBG you found way back in the day. And I was like, okay, shit. I probably should have sent it in. So don't be like Pheonix.
Yeah, always tell people about stuff you found.
So apparently the glitch itself wasn't new. Like, people knew about it, but the very useful way that like everything kind of came together, they found a bathroom glitch. I haven't been up on the Welcome to the Game 2. I randomly turned on a Distortion 2 stream one morning, and it seemed like they had just found the bulletin board glitch and were screwing around with it, and they somehow glitched out the cops at the same time with a bathroom glitch they had also just recently found, and the whole run was surreptitiously somehow overturned, and for a specific category. So I was sitting there going like, Pheonix, what the fuck? You gotta... So for everybody out there, don't pull a Pheonix. If you find something for a game that... So to specifically tell when this was found, there are clips that I made. This is when I first met Pheonix, of in early October of 2018, where the bulletin board glitch was used. I don't know if it was found by the community before that. We're not trying to take credit. Again, I just, for the guy that found bulletin board glitch that has so much pride in it, sitting there and being like, this motherfucker trying to take my credit. No, we don't. Pheonix does not care. We're just saying...
Well, hold on a second. So you're saying there might be some theoretical person who also found it who didn't tell anyone?
No.
Or do you think
See,
the whole...
this is the alternate Pheonix, where he found it, told people. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. This hero.
But do you think that people in the community already knew about the thing Pheonix found? They just couldn't find an application for it? Or are you not sure about that?
That seems to be the case, actually, because I did... like about a week ago, and I think that's kind of where the topic for this podcast came from. But about a week ago, posted on the Welcome to Game 2 forum, I was like, okay, here's everything I know. I don't even know if it's useful, but I heard some buzz about a glitch. I haven't even really watched runs, but there was one guy who responded to me and was like, yeah, this isn't new. And then he told me like a different way of doing it, and I was like, okay, cool. So I guess it's good that that it didn't end up mattering as much. And I'm still not even 100% sure if it is useful. I think Sid might have mentioned that you have to use it in combination with something else. I don't know. Yes. I don't have that much info.
Yeah, but the thing you found is more useful from a casual standpoint, but you can't really apply it to a speedrun, I guess.
Maybe.
We don't know for sure. All right. I know that it's useful for something. And I know that in accordance with other glitches, it breaks the game. But for a split second in my head, at least, Pheonix had found a glitch a year before that morning had revolutionized the Welcome to the Game 2 community. It might not be the case, but in that world, I was kind of pissed at Pheonix. And for anybody that participates in gaming whatsoever, that participates in glitch finding, or just not even participates in glitch finding, tries to find a glitch, or ends up finding a glitch by accident, if you find any glitch, this is the PSA portion, if you find any glitch that pertains to any speedrun, even in the loosest of ways, tell somebody about it. You find something, tell somebody that cares. All right? Because I went through this thought process of, you know what, Toval? from Super Mario Sunshine fame,
he
or
kept
I guess
Beach
Spyro
secret
fame
forever.
If Toval found GBS and then went, huh, that's cool, just turned off his system, walked away, you know?
All right, well, at least that was like clearly useful to the speedrun.
Well, I know that, but he could have just been like, you know what? Screw these guys. What have they done for me lately?
It'd be so funny if he literally spent 3 days finding that. He just spends 3 days doing that. He's like, oh, I found it. Screw it. I'm not going to tell anyone.
And he just turns off his system, turns off his setup, goes back to Spyro. And it's just like, yeah, I was fucking around Super Mario Sunshine. I don't know. I might have found something. That's it. That's the end of that conversation.
Okay, and I've got I guess a couple anecdotes. Nothing like specific, but related to Pac-Man World 2. Because Pac-Man World 2 is actually a game that I used to speedrun that I've actually found stuff in, believe it or not. I suck at finding stuff, but not for Pac-Man World 2. So even if you don't find something that like you don't think might be useful, for example, the bulletin board glitch, Pheonix found, he may have wanted to tell someone when he found it because it could have led to something else. Because in Pac-Man World 2, 2 different times, I found like a small piece of the puzzle, which ultimately led to someone like Ruseman fledging it out and making something actually really useful with it. Mm-hmm. Well, okay, so the first boss fight in the game is the Blinky boss fight against Blinky's frog. And initially people would do like a 3-phase thing. You would do 2 hits per phase and kill him in 3 phases. But I was the person who discovered you could actually do it in under 3 phases. So I released a video of doing it in 2 phases. And it was a slight improvement, but this led to Ruseman figuring out the 1-phase setup. So, and even like a more abstract example of that, I guess, is I remember one time, so the final boss in the game is Spooky, and Spooky was a huge pain in the ass, especially in the early days of the game speedrun. You would just like chase him around the stage, trying to hit him, and it was kind of a crapshoot. There were like 4 hits per phase, and he would just always get away from you somehow. But one time I told Ruseman, I was practicing Spooky, and there's been a couple times where I was actually able to get like a double hit on him at the very beginning of the spawn point. And simply telling him that led to him finding the ultimate stun lock setup that we use now and like save a whole lot of time on it. So what I'm trying to say is if you think you're onto something, if you have like an inkling of something that you might find, always tell someone. Don't keep that secret. It'll lead to some crazy developments, possibly.
Even if the community is hard to find, specifically with the Welcome to the Game 2 community, we were looking for that Discord we didn't even end up finding that Discord. We swear it exists. I swear it exists.
It probably does.
We could not find it. It wasn't on the speedrun.com directory or anything like that. The Sunshine community, really accessible, has a Discord subsection of the speedrun.com. If you want to join the SMS Discords, right there.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, the Welcome to the Game 2 Discord may not even exist, to be honest.
But put in the extra effort. My point is to send somebody something to let them know that you found something that could potentially be helpful. Also, you know what? Do your due diligence. Put in a little bit of extra research. See perhaps maybe if it's already found. Don't be like, oh, I found a way to clip into Corona Mountain. Everybody knows how to do that. Like, put a little bit of extra work in, perhaps, because with specifically Assassin's Creed, my anecdote, I found Rip Skip.
Yeah,
we had no idea that anybody knew about Rip Skip or anything like that. I had the idea that perhaps I could have found it, but who knows? I was looking for the Discord, couldn't find it. I had to find Hector Tutu, the Russian player who was running, I don't know, like Black Flag at the time, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, and went, hey, is this useful? Could I have an invite to the Discord? I'm amazing. I found this thing. And they were just like, oh, this is new. So even in the case where he could have DM'd me and been like, yeah, I don't know, we've known that for over a decade. It's the most common glitch. I'd be like, oh, okay. That's fine. Don't be a weirdo about it, but do your due diligence and try to help out any community where you see fit.
I mean, I don't want to like trash talk anyone coming in with the. Has anyone tried clipping behind Corona yet?
Yeah.
Because I mean, okay, I'll admit, when I started messing around with Sunshine in late 2012, before I started running it, that thought crossed my mind.
Okay, maybe the alternative is don't be offended if somebody's found it and goes found. You know,
or no,
don't be that guy. Don't pull a read and be offended by somebody saying found.
Yeah, don't be afraid to be hit with the found or the known, because it's probably going to happen. But you know, if it doesn't happen, it's the worst that can happen is you're told found. But the best that can happen is you're the hero of the game when you find this crazy thing. So you may as well do it.
You're the hero of the game.
You are literally the hero of the game. Maybe you're right. No one has thought to clip behind Corona, and that's the key to beating the game with one shine. Maybe it's it.
Dude, everybody has that third eye moment where it's just like, oh my God, has anybody thought to clip into the mountain? Everybody's thought to clip into the mountain.
No one's thought of this since 2019. Holy crap.
It's too simple.
The loading zone doesn't exist until you kill all the Shadow Marios, in which case the cutscene plays. Everybody's thought of it.
I didn't know.
But you know what? It's fine to every now and then see in a Twitch chat, have you thought about clipping into the mountain? I'm totally fine with this. I will take the hit with somebody periodically typing that in the chat if everybody just stays active and vigilant about finding glitches.
Why don't you just like enter like Yoshi skip in Pheonix episode 1? Has anyone tried that?
It's also a good. Why don't you just do EYG in episode 1 of Pinna? You know? That's also a good idea.
You know what's funny? You know what's funny about the Yoshi skip thing I just said?
Go for it.
So when I first started watching speedrun stuff, you know, in 2012, I kind of assumed that Speed Demos Archive was the place to be. You know, the forums. Mm-hmm. And to be fair, back then it was quite a bit bigger before Discord really started taking over forums for the most part. But I had an SDA account, and I went to, you know, whatever, some Sunshine thread, and I legitimately made a post. You can still find this. It still exists on the internet somewhere. And I think my first post on Speed Demos Archive was, yo, I don't know what I said. Basically, I was just asking if anyone could try to find if you could enter the Pheonix 5 secret in episode 1, but I can't do it because I don't know how to Yoshi skip. So, it's so embarrassing looking back on it, but it's just so funny. But yeah, I personally can't do Yoshi skip, but anyone who can, you should try doing it in episode 1.
See, Trey used to be one of these guys.
Dude, that's why I say don't rag on these people, because that was me when I started. You know, it was.
You know what? Everybody has their roots.
Yeah, that was my roots.
Those were your roots, and you know what? We're glad to have you.
Yeah, you know, I got through the people saying known and founds to me, and look where I am now.
Everybody that's a glitch finder asks the stupid questions. Yeah. Like, wait, me being somebody that finds things in video games, I have definitely asked myself, hey, does this, oh wait, no, that makes no sense. Or like, this is obviously there to prevent you from doing that. Like, you ask the stupid questions sometimes, and sometimes you need to, but sometimes they're just stupid questions about the games. Anyway.
You know what? This topic, I have a question for both of you guys pertaining to this. So if you found this revolutionary glitch in a game that you run that saves, let's say, like 5 minutes out of a 1 hour run, like it's a big deal, do you A, port it and get a free world record, or B, tell people and be less of an asshole and actually just tell people up front? What do you do?
That was kind of a jaded way to phrase the question, but no, I think, I mean, I don't think it's a big deal, because like the people who are more skilled about the game will just snag the world record back.
It's true, yeah.
You'll just have the one guy who says he had world record. But I would personally, I mean, I'd just tell them. I'd be like, hey, maybe I would go as far as to try and get it named after me, but that's about it.
Honestly, I would too. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I think it depends. Like, if it's a game I'm not like active in or anything like that, it would be really weird for me to be like, oh, I run Sunshine, and I've done one run of Assassin's Creed, and I've done this one run of Star Fox Adventure in 2 minutes because I found this game-breaking glitch randomly. Like, it'd be
that's a good point. Yeah, it's really game dependent. You're right.
It would be really out of nowhere if I just found a random glitch in some game that was game-breaking, and I just ran it for one run and be like, ha ha ha, I hit the world record, fuck you guys suck.
Let's say it's like it's in a game that you've been running for a couple years and you're like a few minutes shy of world record, maybe a couple minutes shy, and you're like, oh man, this is my one chance to get world record in this game I really care about. Do I hoard this and get it, or like tell people and I never get my chance, you know?
Then it's a genuine question.
That's the better question.
Yeah. If it was a game I didn't know, again, probably I'd just be like, hey, I found this. I'd look out Hector Tutu or find the Goomba of the game, you know, the guy that's dominant.
Who wouldn't do that for a game you don't really play?
And I'd just be like, hey, I found this thing. You guys found it? Oh, cool. Here, I called it Rip Skip. You want to call it Rip Skip? Fine. Here you go. And but if it's Sunshine, that's definitely...
Let's say you found Gelato Beach Skip. What do you do?
Yeah, I don't know. I'd think about it. I'd definitely think about it. I think I'd tell somebody. I'd be like, hey, Trey, or SMS community.
You always tell me that I do it.
Just Trey.
Hey, I got a world record, guys.
The fact that I'm like involved with SMS so much, I'd probably be like, hey, I found this. Because I'm just so... But maybe it's because I'm just so invested in the community at that level. Maybe if I'm not invested in the community, but I play the game a lot, I wouldn't. And I just hoard it and be like, hey, I got the record, fuck you guys, kind of. Like, I wouldn't want to have that stench of, hey, this guy kept this thing a secret so that he could grind and kind of de-rust for 3 days and then get the record.
Yeah, see, that's my viewpoint. I think like a few years ago, when I was more of a scrub, I would have totally hoarded it and got a free record. But like nowadays, in hindsight, you always have, like you said, like that stain of, oh, well, this guy just kind of had a record that didn't really matter because he just found that new thing.
Yeah,
like it's not like a serious record. It's more just like, oh, he did it just to have a record. It's not that respectable, so you may as well tell someone.
Yeah, that's kind of how I would think of it, because, you know, even just calling it a free world record almost means like I wouldn't even want it anyway. I mean, it's nice to be like, yeah, I had a world record, but then you ask anyone else, they'd be like, yeah, he discovered a glitch, and then we took it back instantly.
It would be kind of like how Trey references Paper Ario's world record in the world record history of any %, where just like, yeah, and Paper had it.
It's a footnote in history.
It was just because Paper was one of the first people to do the runs after the GBS, after GBS was found, and got a 122 before it was ultimately optimized by the top players at the time, Tobo and Samu. So it's not like he's just kind of like, yeah, Tobo and Samu still fought about it, and Paper had it at one moment. Like, it's not. Yeah,
but regardless, really it is cool that happening opened up the opportunity for Paper to do that. That was kind of cool.
It kind of makes me think, like, this conversation kind of makes me think, what would Calf have done if he wasn't undercut by Kenny Cola? Like, if he wasn't undercut so hard by Kenny Cola, what would Calf have done if he went, I found this, I know how to do it, and I can do it? Would he have kept it to himself or not? I don't think he would have.
I mean, with that skip, EYG was way more janky back then. We weren't really sure if he was even worth it at first.
Yeah.
So, or are you saying under the implication that it's definitely useful?
Well, he knew it was definitely useful.
Yeah.
Because he knew it was like, he had the question that it was possible still. Like, he knew how to, like, theoretically do it.
Or not. We knew it was useful, but it seemed a little ridiculous for runs because it was kind of inconsistent at first. But I mean, that quickly faded by, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if, but he told me and Kenny without really batting an eye, so I don't think that. I think Calf had the good intentions.
I think that ultimately all of us would just tell the communities of whatever game it was, or a game that you care about, tell your own community. Yeah, and then that would gain you the most respect, probably. So, yeah,
I think that's a good answer to fall on.
Yep.
And if you don't, it's not the end of the world. So, yeah.
Yeah, don't feel like you're an asshole for not doing that. I mean, free world record's pretty cool too. So, yeah. Go for it. If you find something.
So yeah, that whole segment was dedicated, or like came from
our PSA about Pheonix almost messing up big time.
It's not necessarily that glitch ended up being something huge or something like that. We don't actually quite know, like, if but it could have fallen differently. And I just wanted to put that out there. And I don't know, we had a nice conversation about it.
Yeah.
So now,
and another thing to point out, actually, real quick, was what I discovered, and apparently was already known in the community, was just a certain setup of it, and that was kind of what I was sharing. So I was, after the fact, when I did post a week ago, I was hoping that the setup might be useful, now knowing that they know about it. So.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And one more thing about Welcome Back to the Game 2. I'm actually kind of impressed that with your bulletin board glitch, you can actually see the assassin walking through the hallway. I just kind of assumed that they wouldn't bother loading an animation for that. Like, they would just like teleport him to the door and open it, you know?
Oh, yeah. No, he's really there.
It seems kind of like a waste of resources, but I mean, it's cool. It does it.
You called it Welcome to the Game, or Welcome Back to the Game 2.
That comes from a meme, by the way. There was an old meme in Twitch chats, like started by Rubber Ducky Assassin 3 in paper, I think, where whenever someone would like return to a game to stream after a while, we would just like mock people going like, "Welcome back to the game." Just something dumb like that. So in turn, I mix up that meme with Welcome to the Game 2 and call it Welcome Back to the Game 2.
Welcome back to the Game 2, guys.
Welcome back to the Game 2.
All right.
Anyway.
So at some point, Pheonix played Welcome to the Game 2 and never ended up speedrunning it or anything like that. But now that whole PSA is out of the way, hello, Pheonix.
Hi.
Welcome to the show.
Thanks.
We've had you on reserve for a few weeks now. We've always been just like, who do we want on the podcast? We have Reed and Pheonix. Just kind of, we can ask them anytime. We're buddies, you know.
Yeah, it's much easier to get a guest in an online friend group versus pulling someone like Cynicism who we don't talk to as much. So we often try to go for the trickier to get guest, but if it doesn't pan out, we'll just go for Pheonix, who's in our friend group.
But this was not that we didn't message anybody this week and be like, hey, you want to be on the podcast? I thought that the Welcome to the Game 2 was a good opportunity and a good conversation we had. And welcome to the podcast. You're finally here.
I am.
And so you play Mario Kart Double Dash, I hear.
Yes, quite a bit. That's kind of my main speed game and my first speed game.
Let's go into Pheonix Spelled Correctly's speed history. Or wait, Trey, do you want to go into Pheonix's how we got into gaming first, or do we want to go into games he plays first?
I want to kind of talk about the history of, because I sort of know about this from hearsay from Emo and some others and Pheonix himself, but I kind of want Pheonix to go over sort of how he started off in Double Dash, what inspired him, and how his progression's been with that game.
Well,
because I hear it involves Yoshi Circuit a little bit.
It does a little bit, yes. When I first, all right, well, I'll just start at the beginning. I'm with my college roommates in Florida, back when I lived in Florida, and one of my roommates brought his GameCube and Mario Kart Double Dash, and I was I love Mario Kart. I almost said party. I don't know why.
I love Mario Party too.
Well, I do love Mario Party too, but
he brings his Mario Kart, and you're just like, oh, I love Mario Kart. Oh, you brought Mario Kart? No,
that's cool too, I guess. Whatever.
I guess.
But we all just played it, and we're having a good time. And I even remember because when I was younger, I played Mario Kart Wii kind of growing up. So I remember playing it and I guess getting the two games confused and being like, wait, I have to manually charge MTs, like mini turbos, that is.
Wait, I'm actually in a cart in this game, not a bike?
Yeah, like there were a couple things that were different. And I was like, okay, this wasn't the game that I played growing up. Again, I wasn't much of a Nintendo boy back then. I still not really. But yeah, I was like, okay, well, that's kind of cool. And I think after we kind of stopped playing and everyone went to bed, I was just sitting there like bored, like I'm gonna just go over to time trials and try to beat my times. And I was like, hey, I kind of like Yoshi Circuit when we're all playing against each other, so I hopped on Yoshi Circuit and just kind of started time trialing over and over again. And I was like, you know, I think I've heard of a thing called speedrunning. Like I was very fresh on speedrunning. I didn't really know. I like kind of knew it was a thing, but didn't realize it was like a big thing.
What year was this, do you think?
Oh, this was like late 2017. This was not that long ago.
He's a new boy, everybody.
Yeah,
he's a new boy to this. What was your opinion, before we get off of it really quick, what was your opinion of Mario Kart Wii going into that?
Oh, I loved it. I mean, I thought it was a good game. It definitely, and I still think it's fun casually.
Yeah.
There we go.
Just
Okay.
casually.
Has speedrunning Mario Kart Double Dash affected your opinion of Mario Kart Wii? Because for an example of mine, it's I played Mario Galaxy as a kid, really loved it. Galaxy 2 was amazing. Started playing Super Mario Sunshine. For 3 years, I thought Galaxy and Galaxy 2 were the plague.
Yeah.
So, what are your thoughts on Mario Kart Wii now?
Yeah, I don't like it as much, and I even remembered, like, when I got in this community, there's kind of like a bunch of memes and like back in the comments about Wii, and I was like, what the hell? Like, what's wrong with Wii? And I remember people saying like, oh, why'd they add bikes to the game and all this stuff. But I kind of get it now. Like, and even watching the speedruns, I mean, they're not for me. I don't mean to detract from Mario Kart Wii speedrunners, because it is very hard at a top level. But it's less interesting, IMO, because you know, you don't manually charge in T's, and also one of the biggest ways to gain speed is by doing wheelies. So it's literally like you hold the drift around the corner, release it, wheelie till the next corner, and then drift. Whereas Mario Kart, you're constantly refreshing your speed with MTs. It's like highly technical, hurts your wrists. Got to have that to be a good game. And yeah.
It has to hurt your wrists in order to be a good game.
Yeah.
You heard it here first. Welcome to the Game 2 didn't hurt his wrists enough.
No.
Unfortunate.
Okay, so that's your start in Mario Kart Double Dash. So where'd you go from there? You started playing Mario Kart Double Dash with your roommates and somehow found the community. What was that like?
I'm trying to recall exactly how I found the community, because I didn't actually dive deeper into the game until after I had moved from Florida, because I had no friends and it was the summer and I wasn't taking classes. So I literally had a summer where I was doing nothing once I got to where I am now in Nevada. And I was like, I've heard of emulators too. And so I got the Dolphin emulator on my PC. I played Double Dash with an Xbox One controller.
Oh, yeah.
And just, slowly got a little better at it. And then one day I was like, I should stream this, because I think that was around the time when I would tune into Goomba and Emo's stream. Or maybe not Emo's, but into Goomba's stream. And I saw him play and I was like, what the fuck? This is... I can say fuck, right?
Yeah,
I think we already said
I think we've said fuck multiple times.
But and I was just like, what the fuck? This guy's insane. Let's see how far I can take it. So yeah, I just kind of grinded from there, and eventually bought a Wii, and got Double Dash officially on official hardware with a GameCube controller, and now I'm ranked 25 or 23 as of like an hour ago.
Pheonix and I have a lot of similarities for our speed games. When I first met Pheonix, I thought that we seemed alike. In a lot. Trey, I remember Trey telling me that. Yeah, I don't know. I've talked to Pheonix a lot. I only met the Mario Kart Double Dash guys through Trey. Trey got into Mario Kart Double Dash and then met all of them. And
Yeah.
At some point, I just kind of started lurking in the calls with them and being like, "Hey guys, how's it going?" And they're just like, "Who the fuck's this guy? He plays Sunshine." He's just kind of here.
I was bringing some sunshine over to Double Dash, whether they like it or not. So,
but before I met Pheonix, I know Trey was like, I'm pretty sure you'll like Pheonix. And
yeah, I need to
first
get
conversation. And I think Pheonix and I have a lot of similarities, especially like personality-wise, kind of. Like I see it a lot with our personalities, but game-wise too. Like we're kind of the same level in both of our respective speed games, where I'm just like ranked 25 and any percent in Super Mario Sunshine, and you're like 23rd, and we're just kind of like just outside of the top, but we're also like playing other games at the same time and aren't really as active as we were, kind of a thing.
Yeah,
it's weird. It's weird how high you are after such little time, because I've been playing Super Mario Sunshine since 2013.
Yeah,
I'm an old boy.
I've actually seen, so I started playing Double Dash. I mentioned this in a previous episode, but I started playing it in September 2018. Haven't really played it in a few months now, but like that's when I started playing it. And the first time I actually streamed the game, I was in a call with Emo and Pheonix. The first time I ever talked to Pheonix was in that call. I actually met Emo previously before that, but I think that Pheonix was like referencing like, oh yeah, I got like a 142 there, blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, like on Peach Beach? Like, no, on YC, Yoshi Circuit. I was like, oh crap, you're really good. Because 142, even back then, was a pretty respectable time. That's like what, Myth on Yoshi Circuit?
Yeah. Unfortunately, it was kind of like the only track that I was like decent at, because that's kind of how I learned the game, was on one track, and then I branched out. But yeah, I guess that was kind of what I was proud of at the time. Yeah, for sure.
Right. So I don't know if you mentioned this, but the first speedrun you saw of Double Dash was Richard Carlson's Yoshi Circuit run, right?
Yes, that was like back in Florida before
Yeah.
I had even really started, yeah.
Which was the world record at the time, like a 139.5 something.
Yeah.
Super insane run, though it is 50 hertz, but we don't talk about that.
I was going to ask a question. So there's a lot of, I don't know if we covered it in Optimistic Emo, but in the Optimistic Emo episode, but what do you think about players, because you're one of the players that specifically played Yoshi Circuit until you got good. Like you played a lot of Yoshi Circuit and then maybe a little bit Sherbet Land, and while you were getting good, because I know you enjoy Sherbet Land a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And what do you think of those players that only grind, because you're one of them, one course to get good?
Good question, because this is honestly something I've gone back and forth with. Is like, is it better? Is it worse? Maybe there's pros and cons, and neither is like strictly better. But I don't know. I guess if you look at a player like Ideas, who literally she went through every course like in order and just got the standard that she wanted, the next standard up, and then moved on. And so she literally like improved all of the courses at the like basically the same rate. And I was basically the opposite of that, where I just played Yoshi Circuit over and over because, I don't know, I loved it. I was having fun. I honestly, looking back, I don't even know how I did it, because I can't play a track for that long anymore. But yeah, when I first started, I just kept learning the intricacies of Yoshi Circuit, and it seemed to, make my like base gameplay, as in that'd be like MT speed, mini turbo speed, and like basically the basic things that you can apply to any track. I feel like maybe it could have improved that at a faster rate, but then every time I got on a course, I didn't really, or even if I knew the lines, I wouldn't exactly know what angle to take and to ensure that I stay on this line. There's like a bunch of things that I had to learn and still learn, because my timesheet's still kind of a mess. And every time I jump on a new course, or not a new course, but a course I'm bad at to improve it, I kind of have the same thing where I'm like, okay, just do that. But I don't know. Once I kind of figure out the intricacies of the course, I can usually strip my time down like really quickly, just because I feel like I have a decent base skill set for Double Dash.
Yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword, because when you master a track so well, you feel kind of lazy as far as learning a whole new track. You're like, I'm amazing at this one track. Why would I go through the pain of learning a new track? On the other hand, like you said, you develop this base of skills you can apply to other tracks and learn them much quicker than you would normally. And that's pretty nice in and of itself. And honestly, with my learning process, I would say I was not as strict as Ideas was with like track to track to track, getting each standard by standard. I kind of just like moved around randomly. Like, I didn't specialize anywhere, but also I didn't move around all the time. I would kind of like stream. Whenever I streamed, I would focus on like one or maybe two tracks for the whole stream, and that was pretty much that. But I kind of regret not focusing on one track more than any other track. Like, I think like focusing on a more fundamental movement track like Peach Beach, for example, would have helped significantly with just like developing better A-Tech or mini turbo speed. But I also don't know, because like you look at Goomba, the number one player, he's always just moved around randomly and it worked out for him. So I don't know. Kind of weird.
Do you have any track that you specifically like doing more than the other ones, Trey?
Daisy Cruiser.
Do you actually?
Okay, it was kind of a meme at first. At first, I hated Daisy Cruiser, and I would play it a lot because I wanted to improve it, because I felt like I don't really like this track, but I want to improve it. I want to figure out this annoying stair section, the table cycles, yada yada. And because I would play it so much despite hating it, Pheonix would kind of tease me like, "Oh, you love Daisy Cruiser, don't you?" I'm like, "No,
yeah, I called this
because
he played it a lot despite hating it. Was my reasoning.
I did play it a lot. I wanted to improve it, even though I hated it. Is like I felt this drive to improve it, and through that drive of driving, because it's Mario Kart, huh? I learned the annoying stairs section. I figured out table cycles, and I actually learned to love the track. And now I'd say it's maybe my favorite. I don't know. It's at least top 3, but yeah.
So
I learned to love it.
So Pheonix,
yes.
What do you think is the biggest hurdle for a new player in Mario Kart Double Dash? Because Trey was just talking about his like figuring out all the specific tracks and all that stuff, and the specific ways to like do grinding one track or doing the other, or trying to spread it all really thin and do it a lot, or do a lot of them at the same time at the start. What do you think is the biggest hurdle for a new player? Like, is it learning the timing for MTs? Because you're fairly recent at the game. Like, we could ask Goomba or Emo, but they've been playing for upwards of 3 years. I don't know what my biggest issue of Super Mario Sunshine was trying to, like, I don't remember my first months with the game.
I know what mine is for Double Dash. I don't know about Pheonix, though.
Yeah, well, I know mine. Mine was March 2018 is when I moved over to Nevada. Or I was already here for a bit, but that I remember March. I started streaming around the same time that I started playing the game, so I consider March 2018 my Double Dash start.
Well, what was your biggest hurdle with learning the game, you'd say?
It's hard to say. I want to say Double Dash is one of those games where the top level looks ridiculously impossible to someone who just started. I mean, any speed game is going to be like that. Like, what the fuck, speedrun is going to be this? But I think Double Dash has maybe that a little bit more than some other games. So it's really easy to compare yourself, especially with just as many players as there are on the players page. It's really easy to compare yourself and get demotivated by that because, Double Dash, to get the muscle memory for faster MTs, it takes like a lot of time and dedication. And if you're constantly comparing yourself to someone who has put more time in the game, like, you're going to get discouraged. And I think that's maybe something that carried me through the early days of Double Dash was I was just very ignorant. I mean, I knew I was bad, but I was ignorant at the fact that, like, I don't know, I just wanted to shoot my Yoshi time down lower. I wasn't like, wow, how'd this guy get a 141 and not me, You
have to not care about, I mean, obviously you want to be competitive, but you have to sort of understand, like you said, the top level, they're there for a reason, they put in the work. But my hurdle personally, I'm sure Pheonix might agree with this. I don't know. He might have something else. Mini turbo consistency is by far my biggest problem with the game. Even now, like, starting off, when you first start off, it's a little easier for you because you don't necessarily you obviously don't do like all the mini turbos that you can. You do them pretty slowly, meticulously, just to get a few of them out where it's useful to use them. For the most part, when you start off, though, you're mostly focused on tighter lines and, good curves and stuff. But when you start to have to work up mini turbo speed, it becomes significantly easier to misinput them and drop them, as we say. And I don't know, I think I didn't like fully develop my muscle memory properly for that, because I was like struggling to consistently get them out. It's tough.
Yep.
Tough game.
It seems like a tough game. It seems like the Melee of Mario Karts.
I would unironically agree with that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of
there's a lot of Melee-esque games at the beginning of GameCube. Battle for Bikini Bottom, Melee.
Yeah,
anyway.
Those are the only two.
Yeah, so Mario Kart Double Dash.
Oh yeah, that one too. There you go. The trifecta.
We got 3 and Sunshine, but I won't get into that.
That's not.
So my mindset towards like Pheonix talking about getting good at Mario Kart Double Dash made me think of actually my recent getting good at Tetris. Like getting good at Tetris is really, I don't know. Once you clue into some things, you just kind of are good at them. But when you start playing Tetris, it's just like, how the hell can anybody be this good? Eventually, you just start getting more comfortable with everything. And maybe that kind of mindset of you can kind of, whatever you put your mind to gaming-wise, if you have the basics in video games, you can kind of do whatever you want. If you put enough time into learning stuff, you could probably do whatever you want. And I should probably actually, Reed won't be listening, but have that kind of mindset towards my strats in Super Mario Sunshine, because I've said recently, well, you watch Ouija and all those other top players, JJ and all the people with really clean movement in Super Mario Sunshine, and go, and I still go after 6 years of playing the game. Like, I know the basics really, really well, but I don't know how to be as fast as they are and how to have movement as clean. But maybe I should take some of that mentality from Pheonix and my Tetris days, or learning how to play Tetris days, and try to learn how to be faster. And maybe I can attain those levels kind of mentality.
I mean, part of it is like obviously developing the right muscle memory.
Yep.
But also, yeah, when you're saying comparing, Ouija's movement to a less technical player like myself, I don't know how to word that. The thing is with SMS movement, it's actually like you can only really see how truly good Ouija or some other player of his caliber movement is if you are a pretty avid runner of the game. Like, if you don't run the game at all, you probably can't really see much of a difference between like Ouija and, I don't know, Sid. Maybe you can,
that, but sure.
But you know what I'm getting at, right? Like,
I get where you're going.
You have to run the game to like really notice the subtle differences and like why Ouija's so much better than anyone else at certain movement.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know what my point is with this, but yeah.
Top level Sunshine's insane. That's the point.
It's a really, Sunshine's a super deep game, and like the top is the tippy top level. It's tough to get there. Like, the movement gets pretty ridiculous.
Pheonix, do you still look at Goomba or Emo gameplay or anybody's gameplay and be like, I still don't know how they do that kind of stuff?
Honestly, recently I feel like I've gotten less of that. It still amazes me that they're able to do it, but I think maybe I'm approaching the level where I could see it happening, and I don't know, I guess I'm really trying to get there. Especially, I think the moment I kind of started to think more about that was I was going for a Peach Beach like 0.5, which at the time only Goomba and Emo had ever gotten, and I eventually got it, and I was like, and it was really just Emo was giving me tips on like all these times that I thought should have been a 0.5. And he was like, oh, like, it's obvious you're doing this. So sometimes
so obvious.
It's just like you can, I don't know, miss things that are obvious to top players that like you maybe don't know yet. So I think sometimes you kind of have to take a step back and just look at what's really important, because like, I don't know. I don't really know where I'm going with this.
Yeah, I think I see what you're saying for sure.
Okay.
So to piggyback off on that again, I don't think I got a satisfying answer out of Emo. I asked a similar question, like, because in Super Mario Sunshine, I'm transferring it all to Super Mario Sunshine. I'm thinking of great questions, but I have to like set it up with a Super Mario Sunshine anecdote first. With Super Mario Sunshine, everybody has their own kind of style. And I asked this question of Emo, a similar question. Do you see differences in other people's gameplay that aren't necessarily worse or better, but just different?
Yeah, and actually, I remember you asking this to Emo. So I guess I'll try to satisfy the question.
I think I remember having a pretty good answer for this myself, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, so for me, I actually distinctly remember early in the game, Goomba saying he could look at someone playing, like just the gameplay, maybe no audio, and maybe just pretend that all the characters are the same, so you don't just recognize someone from what characters they use. And he could tell who was driving. And I did not get that at all at first. I was like, it looks all the same to me. You just MT. But I do kind of see it more. I noticed that Goomba has this weird smoothness. And I know that's not very descriptive, so I'll go deeper into it later. But
I
think smoothness.
I know what you're saying with that, the smoothness thing. Part of it comes from Bowser Jr.'s awesome animations.
Yes, and that was one thing I realized. I was like, because also when I would compare to mine, I used Diddy Kong on the back for a while. And Diddy Kong is like throwing his entire weight left and right in a really jagged fashion. Yeah, and Goomba uses Bowser Jr., who is actually very smooth transitions and isn't dipping out as far. So that's just an animation thing. But I do also think that there can be a difference that doesn't affect speed, like you said, Sid, in driving style. And a part of that is mini turbo speed. So I look at someone like Robber, and I think this guy has lightning fast MTs. And that's pretty cool. And then I've seen like Scartax play. He has a similar smoothness to Goomba. And I think the smoothness comes from kart angle. And that's not something people look at that much, because I'm a player who I get around the corner and then I turn my kart. There's a lot of people who will literally get their kart pointed where it needs to be first and then move it. Because you can kind of turn your kart in between MTs, and and as long as you get it to where you need it in time, it's fine. There's some people who do it way earlier. And that's kind of what I noticed.
There's also a lot of differences, and I feel like I said this during the emo episode, but I can't remember. A lot of differences in the way you can A-tech. And like, people will like have variance in how long or short they release the A button or whatnot.
Yeah, and Goomba and Emo actually argue or have argued about that before. And they both seem fine. So Emo, just to explain it, Emo releases A for less time, which means he does less of an A-tech on straightaways. So his kart doesn't get the effects of A-tech as much. It keeps its angle straighter. Huh. Goomba does a thing where he's still full A-techs, so he's releasing A button for longer on straightaways, but he countersteers before the A-tech, and that's kind of something I've started doing. Yeah. So it's like a hard countersteer versus just A-teching less, and it can go either way. It just depends on how you learn A-tech, because A-tech's weird and people do different things, but yeah.
The melee of Mario Kart, folks.
So, yeah, I don't know. With Sunshine, like, you can definitely tell differences, but, like, I don't really I wasn't satisfied with Emo's answer, but I don't really have a satisfying answer for Sunshine either. I don't think I can watch anybody's gameplay, except for Trey's. I think Trey's gameplay in Sunshine, I would be able to tell.
Why is that?
Because it's, like, it's like...
so bad.
No, it's like Ouija said in his tier list. It's just like not flashy at all, but it's really fast.
Oh, well, thank you.
You know,
I'm a really fast.
It's just
man.
like it's an interesting, like, of the top players, I could probably figure out yours better. But like Ouija's and Reed's, I could just kind of be like, yeah, that looks really fast. I don't like. It's one of those guys. You know,
I feel like. And we're going to move on from this and like more into Pheonix's other game background after this probably.
Yeah.
But I feel like, and I just thought of this right now, my gameplay style in Sunshine is like the exact opposite of Reed's.
Okay.
In a way, like if you think about it, like...
No, that sounds right.
I have a very utilitarian approach to the game. I'll do what I'm comfortable with that is the fastest, that I'm fairly consistent at. That like it gets the job done, it's fast, but like not to look flashy or anything unless I'm doing the Gelato 1-up warp to look cool. Aside from that, whereas Reed, you look at his gameplay and he has like super crispy movement a lot of the time, like super flashy as well. Like he'll like sidestep during his spam spray backflip dives all the time and like all this stuff. And like it looks cool. But a lot of times it's like not even that much faster than what I do, if not like the same speed. Exactly. I love Reed's gameplay style, by the way.
Well, you say Gelato 1-up warp as a flashy thing. That's not what we mean by flashy at all.
I know. Like, that was kind of a joke, but yeah.
Like it's a fancy trick and stuff like that. But I know it's a joke, but it's still Like you see Reed when he's free running Delfino, you will see him do a side flip, hover, cancel, water slide all over the place. It's really evident your gameplay, like during runs, maybe it's a little bit different. You could probably, based on what the strats people do in runs, you could probably figure out who plays it. But the way to figure out who's playing it by just gameplay on its own, it would be to watch somebody free run Delfino.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
And like if they have a more fondness, I love doing GWKDs. And
actually, wait, I have no idea if that would actually help because I kind of do random bullshit when I run that.
But like I know Reed and Ouija, when they're free running and stuff like that, they're just doing the most technical stuff. Maybe not the cleanest version of the most technical stuff, but they are attempting the most technical stuff. And I'm just kind of like doing a GWKD over here, spin jumping, doing ramp runs over, like nothing super duper hard. And they try to throw in a lot of super technical stuff. That's my little anecdote about that.
I think the best way to know is just to like know what player does what strat though, and see the strats they do.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because you could watch me and be like, oh, he's playing on NTSCU. Or
you can see like, oh, he's not doing a momentum spin in the Ocarina 4. It's Sid.
It's like, this guy's it's Sid. It's a okay.
Oh, that makes sense.
So we got to Pheonix playing Mario Kart Double Dash. But when I first interacted with Mario Kart Double Dash with Pheonix, you are Mario Kart Double Dash to me.
Oh.
You were already good friends with Emo and like in the community with Goomba and all those guys. How did that go? Like meeting those guys for the first time?
Like how did it happen?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. I started streaming the game. It was like 3 a.m. or something, and Optimistic Emo comes into my chat, and I was like, oh shit, I know that this is like a top player in Mario Kart Double Dash. And I was like, hey. And he was like, hey.
Whoa.
And that's how it starts.
I think Emo told me later on that he told Goomba about me, and then Goomba showed up to my chat, and basically it was just kind of a streamer versus chat, interaction. But eventually I think they just invited me to a VC one day because they were talking and I was streaming, and they're like, yeah, let's VC. And after that, I don't know, I just started VCing with them more, getting to know them more. And actually we started playing other games together, and I think that's when I started to get actually comfortable with them, as Emo invited me to play PUBG. I started playing Minecraft with Goomba, and when Apex came out, we all hopped on Apex, although we were already pretty good friends at that point. So, but yeah, it just playing games,
Yeah,
being a gamer.
I don't think Trey and I played a game other than Super Mario Sunshine with one another until Overwatch. Like, it had been multiple years.
When was the first Good People Minecraft server?
No. Well,
was that 2015 or 2016?
I think Overwatch came out in 2016, and I
Overwatch
think
2016. But what about Minecraft?
I know. I think the Minecraft server was the same year.
Was it?
But,
oh wait,
but
you might be right.
Minecraft.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit about Minecraft? We just fucking build bridges.
Whoa!
I mean,
Minecraft
is one
Minecraft
of the best.
too. That's how we, shot the shit with Goomba.
Aren't you a Terraria guy, Pheonix?
No, Goomba's a Terraria guy.
Oh, I bet.
I've played it, but I'm definitely more of a Minecraft guy.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you ran the server. It's idiotic. You ran the server. You have Minecraft specific friends. Pretty funny. Or from high school that used to play Mario Kart. Minecraft. Dude, they're similar names.
They played Minecraft with Mario Kart, the person. Yeah.
They
made
Mario Craft.
Oh yeah,
they
also,
should make that.
I want to reference that server.
Yeah, we tried to make that.
The Double Dash tracks are making in Minecraft.
We made Baby Park. We started with Baby Park because we're like, this is the easiest one. Duh, make this first.
Look pretty good.
And then we started Peach Beach, which actually got pretty far.
And actually, I helped you guys with Peach Beach that one night.
Yeah. They all actually look pretty good.
We finished everything except for there's like a million buildings in the background we weren't going to get around to. So
yeah.
Other than that,
it was also just Bowser's Castle. That was actually, It was like while we were building Baby Park in Minecraft, Frenchie's like, I'm gonna go over here and build Bowser's Castle, and we're like, what? That's
the hardest one.
Literally the hardest one. Like, but yeah, now it's like almost complete.
So Pheonix, Minecrafter extraordinaire, welcome to the game 2 scrub. Fairly high level Mario Kart Double Dash player. I did reference earlier that we are at a similar stage of our main speed game where it's just like we play it, but it's not our main squeeze, or it's not as main as it used to be.
Yeah.
And to reference your secondary squeeze, I guess nowadays, you want to talk about Titanfall a little bit?
Sure. I unfortunately haven't played Titanfall seriously in a while, in several months.
Titanfall 2, to be fair.
Titanfall 2, yes.
It hasn't been that long. When's the last time you speedrun it?
Well, I've made attempts to get back into it more recently, but I'll stream it like once a week and then not for like 2 weeks, and then I'll try again in like 2 weeks and do it again. So it's kind of been like that for the last couple weeks, and then before that it was like months of just not playing. So I'd say I'm basically not active in that game at the moment.
But how good did you get at Titanfall 2 speedrun?
I got okay. I think a lot of people maybe overestimated me in the community because the game isn't as popular, and I could easily realize, just having looked at a game like Sunshine, that the top 10 was not optimized at all. I mean, I think when I got into the top 10, it was like a 127, and world record was like a 120. And like you look at a game like Sunshine, like what is 10th place? Like a really low 115.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's pretty sick.
It's like within a minute of record.
Yeah. And so I kind of just started playing it a little bit before SGDQ, and I kind of grinded to a spot where I got into the top 10, and then one day I got like a really good run and got actually 4th place.
Damn.
Yeah, and then that actually got a couple other people back into the game who then bought me back to 6th place in the way I currently
Of course, every game has its speed bullies, man.
Yeah, well, I didn't mind. I was just like, I was surprised that like the top 10 was not as optimized, I guess.
Dude, there are a lot of people that like play video games or speed game, like a specific game for a certain amount of time, just kind of put it down, and then they're just waiting for somebody to bop them, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, okay, I'm back."
Yeah,
we were just referencing it with Cynicism the other day, where it's just Cynicism takes the record, and then this retired guy that hadn't touched the game in half a year, maybe a year, just goes like, "I guess I'll take that back." Like, just it's insane how many kind of people like in Super Mario Sunshine. I'd probably be one of those. If somebody bopped me, I'd be like, "Oh, okay." But then again, it's
Nanashi does that to you.
Yeah, Nanashi does that to me. I guess. They're just like, oh, okay, he got that record. Awesome. Oh, Guy has it? Leave it. It's fine. That's cool.
Yeah. And I feel like that can almost be like a detriment when a game is unoptimized. I mean, Titanfall is not unoptimized. World record's good, but I think there's not as much competition. So I think of like, you know, if say Titanfall 2 is my first speed game and I hit top 10 and I was like, yes, top 10, awesome, and I didn't know anything about Sunshine, then I probably just would have stopped there. But knowing that like, wow, this really isn't that good, and I kept pushing it and it was fine.
Yeah, you have more perspective on things like that, I guess, being in multiple speed games.
Yeah.
Because like many people don't know this, but the top echelon of Double Dash is extremely competitive and optimized, like on the time trial leaderboards. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like it's weird to reference Ocarina of Time in a light of not being, I don't know, active or optimized or anything like that. But it's ZFG against the world until recently.
Oh, I was thinking of this just now, actually. Go for it.
Glitchymon, he's Canadian, right? You said that he was Canadian.
That's what his Twitter says. I believe that's correct.
The Canadian runner, shoutouts to Canada, got for the first time in forever, stole the world record from DFG
I believe I saw
Ocarina
a
of Time,
tweet
100%.
saying ZFG had the record for 6 years and like some change in a row.
And I think the last
Jesus.
person that had it was SVA.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And it's interesting to think, like Pheonix was saying, just like looking at a leaderboard and being super optimized like Super Mario Sunshine, and then looking at another leaderboard like Titanfall 2, or I guess 100% Ocarina of Time, where it's just like, here's this guy with 353, and then here's a fleet of people maybe around 4 hours, like 6 minutes difference.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the one guy that grinds enough and got to the same level as the world record holder, and then probably the world record holder ZFG is gonna be like, you know what, I'm gonna come back, see what I can do. I don't know for sure if it's gonna be as easy of a bop as Nanashi with me, or with the people that came back and bopped Pheonix to put him back to 6th place in Titanfall 2, but who knows? That's I just wanted to
I don't know how hard
that.
the current Ocarina of Time Hundo run. I mean, I don't run the game, so I don't know how hard it is in general, but there's quite a bit of RNG in that game. You know, you got Dompe. That's always fun.
See, the weird thing about Ocarina of Time, it's that it's not a new speed game, but there's so many new glitches all the time.
It always feels new, even though it's an old speed game.
Yeah, even though like they've rerouted it however many times in the past year, and they just found what did I DM you? I DM'd you what SRM actually stood for.
Oh right, we had like a YouTube comment correcting that it's stale reference manipulation.
Stale reference manipulation. So like that was found within the past month. And ZFG is kind of right in that respect. Sorry to bring it just totally usurp Pheonix's time and just talk about Zelda for a second, but
go ahead.
It's not a new speed game. It's a really old speed game but for some reason it's like in some way it's like what is it? SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, where there's a new trick every month. You know? So they just keep churning out the new tricks, and then Shift or ZFG or whoever the main guy is just like, you know what? I'll try to incorporate it. Or here's my fleet. Here's my fleet of routers. And
as a Sunshine runner, it's hard to imagine these games like Ocarina of Time and Battle for Bikini Bottom. They're like the gifts that keep on giving, whereas Sunshine is just kind of stagnant as far as discoveries.
It's just, Sunshine is legit. Here's a trick every 4 years. All right, optimize movement. Now you guys optimize movement. Do it.
All right, new trick coming in a couple years. Get ready, boys.
But Sunshine is a weird thing where it's just the movement is so like I couldn't think of Zelda in that light. Well, like Ocarina of Time, you don't look at the movement and be like, wow, that's amazing. It's just like, oh, he's back walking and then he's periodically using a bomb to do.
It's cool, but yeah, like Sunshine, it's all about its movement. So like even without new tricks, it can survive on its own accord just through like cool movement.
The layers are there, but they're not in the tricks. There are a few tricks, but not huge. Well, I guess GBS is huge, but like not flashy or like, oh, they're looking into the code and reinventing this way to manipulate this object. It's, oh, I used a coconut and clipped through a roof. You know, it's not anything flashy like, hey, I'm gonna set up this whole glitch throughout the Deku tree. Then using the water in the basement, I'm going to somehow overwrite what items I have in my inventory. You can't really do that with Sunshine. So you're just like, all right, I'm gonna figure out how to spin slide. Like the movement is kind of in Sunshine the gift that keeps giving. Where
like Beyblade being found a few months ago.
Yeah, and the rocket nozzle tech that was found a few years ago, and like there's a bunch of movement that keeps changing rather than finding a glitch that really breaks the game.
At first it was like jump rocket storage, then infinite rocket storage, then you have rocket rollouts, and you have turbo SID storage, like all this stuff.
And then you have run cancel storage that I'm the only person that uses apparently.
Oh yeah, because it's kind of risky, but yeah, there you go.
It's whatever. You guys got to get the timing down. See that. Go for it.
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Okay. On that note, I was going to say that Simply recently released a video about SM64. I don't remember what the video was called, but it was basically an appreciation video of the people who don't even really run SM64, but they dedicate a lot of time to optimizing it and discovering stuff. I wish I could remember what the project was called, but it was a very lengthy video, and he just went through resources and resources that people have poured time into that I didn't really even know existed. Like, I thought it was just, cheese and Punkcase sitting there like, yeah, let's do this. But there's like a whole little backing of that in that community that finds like just little optimizations. I think a lot of it was like avoiding lag, which tends to happen in SM64, which can actually amount to a lot over the course of a run. So stuff like that. It was super interesting.
Or you could just run VC and have no lag at all. Hell yeah.
And then be banned from the leaderboard, or
well, no, it's just like a separate category that no one takes seriously. So you're effectively shadow banned, yeah.
But yeah, there's a fleet of people in a lot of the Zelda games. I don't want to say all the Zelda games because Skyward Sword does exist. Actually, no. I guess nowadays Skyward Sword wouldn't be that taboo to bomb bowling. What a nice
what a
video.
reference.
And but yeah, there's a fleet of people in the background for Ocarina of Time, and to bring it back to Sunshine again, I can't imagine somebody just like trying to figure out tech and not doing runs.
I mean, it's kind of similar to the music industry, right? The cheese, the Punkations of the world, they're the pop stars. The trick finders are the ghost riders. You don't get the credit, but they really deserve more credit.
They get paid though.
At least Ghost Riders get paid. People finding tricks in games, they just do it out of a passion, which is even more respectable.
It's thankless until Simply makes a video.
Thank you, Simply, for your video about the Ghost Riders of SM64.
All right, so where were we, Pheonix?
Shit.
We were talking about
Titanfall.
The leaderboards in Titanfall 2.
Oh, yeah. Well, what else do you want to know?
What else do you run, or do you plan on running in the future?
Okay, all right. This is a good moment to go into it. Sorry. I know we haven't gone into like how you got into gaming whatsoever, but what is your like how you started gaming? Maybe we can get that in a sec, but what's your gaming resume?
Oh, I should have phrased it like that. Yeah, gaming resume.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
My gaming resume. So, is this a gaming speedrun resume or a gaming resume?
In general?
Anything gaming related. What would you put on your resume to get a job?
Well, I definitely, I guess if we're really starting truly from the beginning, I want to say my first gaming experience was probably the Game Boy Color. It was so long ago, I don't really remember. I think I played Bug's Life on it and some other games that I don't remember the name of. And yeah, so Game Boy Color.
Yeah.
And then I got a GameCube later, and I played a shit ton of ATV2 with my friends. That game is the bomb. I kind of want to do like a stream of it or something, but that's unrelated.
Never played it.
Yeah, it's sick. And from there, I got a Wii and an Xbox 360 eventually, just because a lot of my friends in middle school, had Xbox 360s, and I got really deep into COD. Like a lot of kids my age at the time.
Dude, there's so many COD heads in speedrunning.
Yeah.
That's actually nuts.
Like,
not so much
COD was
anymore.
an era.
Yeah, not so much anymore. I know some of the good people are like still playing the new Modern Warfare and stuff like that, but definitely back in the day, there's so many. COD
back
heads.
when COD was like the game to play out of anything.
Yeah, and I kind of even remember a time when like me and my friends would argue what's better, this new game Call of Duty or Medal of Honor 16 or whatever. Well, I don't know how many there were, but 16. Medal of Honor, was like kind of the World War II shooter at the time, and then COD came around and we're like, what the fuck is this?
That's insane. There was a couple years where it's just like, yeah, Call of Duty, and because Call of Duty back in the day was like before Modern Warfare came out, it was World War II. Yeah, and World War and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it just harkened back to that time. So there was an immediate comparison, and then Modern Warfare came out, and Medal of Honor. Medal of Honor did have a game in 2016 that came out.
Yeah, they tried to I think it was Warfighter, Medal of Honor Warfighter,
something like that.
One of those. Yeah. But yeah, they've definitely tried to kind of reboot the popularity of that franchise several times, and it's just it wasn't really working.
There was just there was this guy with a huge beard, like this military guy with a huge beard on the front cover, and it was just like,
gotta have that.
Yeah, and they went.
I don't know about this cover. I don't know if I can play this.
They went with the modern spin. I remember there was some controversy around their naming of. They called it the opposing force but I think like in an earlier version of the game, they called it like legit the Taliban or something like that, and there was a whole kerfuffle around that. I don't remember what the name specifically was, but I remember there was a huge drama around that when it came out. But that was like I said 2016, but it was probably like 2013, 2012, something like that. They tried to reboot that stuff. Anyway, yeah. So that conversation happened, and Call of Duty won, probably.
Yeah, and I think really with Call of Duty Modern Warfare, COD 4 Modern Warfare was like the one where just kind of changed like multiplayer. That was the first like multiplayer experience I guess I ever got, like at least with matchmaking where you just hop online and kill people, and it was a lot of fun. A lot of people had that with Halo. I did later with Reach, but COD 4 was really my first. And when I was playing Halo 3, which actually I did play a lot of the Halos, I never match made. I would just kind of forge and play split screen with my friends.
Forge master.
Yes, Forge was my shit. So also Minecraft has to go on my speedrunning resume because that was, I think, my first PC game that I really got into.
Sorry to cut you off. For what though? What is your gaming resume? You're good at Minecraft? You played a lot of Minecraft?
I played a lot. I'm pretty sure it's the game that I still have the most hours in after all this time.
Okay. That's like a special skill. Just like, I'm good at Minecraft. I'm really good at Minecraft.
Well, I'm not saying I'm amazing at Minecraft. I'm just saying I played it a lot. It has to go on my resume because I started playing it in middle school, and honestly, I think it's what got me into PC gaming, and it's why I now play Apex on PC with mouse and keyboard instead of on a 360, or a 1, whatever that's on. See, I don't even know.
Series X.
Series X, yeah.
I don't mean to critique your resume, all right? But I wouldn't, for my resume, for perspective, I wouldn't put has 1,400 hours in Rocket League because I'm not bad at Rocket League, but I'm not good.
Do you have 1,400 hours in Rocket League?
I played it a lot when it was for the first 2 years.
Wait, you have 1,400 hours in Rocket League? You're hired.
Yeah. But I would put has all the achievements in both, or I guess trophies, but whatever. All the achievements that you can get in Dead Space 1 and 2, that would be put on my resume because that's kind of hard to get.
Okay, fair enough. So, well, let me explain why it belongs in my resume then. It's
all right,
because
fuck yeah.
I was so young. I was in middle school. It was Minecraft Alpha, to the point where like my first world got corrupted because I explored too far and the game was buggy. And I would come home from school, I'd play that till I went to bed for like several months, and it's also a game that I just keep coming back to, regardless of the updates. You know, we had my server like several months ago, whenever that was, and I don't know. I think it's up there with COD as a transformative gaming experience, and I feel like it might have been for a lot of people. It was just a crazy game.
Crazy game.
Yeah, it's on my resume.
So the fact that you've played a lot of Minecraft is on your resume.
Yes.
I'm just confirming.
Yes.
Okay.
And yeah, so I guess I actually didn't play League of Legends, I guess, could go on there. I mean, I wasn't very good at it, but that was another game that just got me using the mouse and keyboard more, and I don't know, I played that for a time, and then I got into Double Dash, and that's where my speedrunning career started, and I didn't really care about any other speedruns until Titanfall 2, and even then I haven't played it nearly as much as I played Double Dash. So yeah.
What
do you have any
from Mario Kart Double
particular
Dash
achievements in that game you're particularly proud of?
Okay, maybe I'm misunderstanding this resume a bit.
Yeah, okay, so I think you're conflating the two. We were asking for the resume. We weren't going to go into history immediately, but you went into history, and that's cool. We're fine with that.
Cool.
But what would be if you were going for a job interview? Booga was hosting a job interview. The Fortnite player, you know, he's looking for somebody to I don't know, that games.
Advantages Fortnite squad or whatever.
Okay.
I don't know, whatever.
Yeah,
I'm
a true gamer.
Right.
He wants you to list your achievements in gaming. If you put you played a lot of Minecraft, you're not getting the fucking job.
Are you kidding me? I was so high.
He'll be like, I played a lot of Minecraft too. You're higher.
We can relate.
No. Well, okay. So I'm currently ranked 23 in the world in Double Dash.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, and I guess Peach Beach is my best course. I'm like ranked 9 or 10 in the 3-lap, but I got ranked 3 in the fast lap. And
right, you've broken the mold of being the Yoshi guy. Now you're the Peach Beach guy.
Yeah, now I guess I'm the Peach Beach guy. I got to rank 6th in Titanfall 2 any percent. I think I might be 4th in fast any percent, but it's a little less competitive. And my like if you do the equivalency, I'm pretty sure my times are similar. And let's see what you got. I'm the current world record holder. I guess that's important.
Oh shit! I thought you might have that record, but you haven't.
Yeah, I have it.
Nice.
I got the sub 9. Shit.
So what was to take it away from the gaming resume thing? That for the record, you don't have to put only speed gaming stuff on your resume, because I would also put on my gaming resume. I would put all my Sunshine stuff, and I'd put I would also put the Dead Space, got all the achievements in it. But I would also put I've played a game of Tetris 99 where I defeated all of the top 10. Like, I was the person that killed all of the top 10.
Okay.
That would be on my resume.
Well, I guess another thing that could go on my resume, it's hard to just say it without showing you, but I mean, you've already mentioned it a lot of times, but I was into Forge and I was into Minecraft, so maybe I could just say things that I've built.
Sure, pictures would be dope on a resume.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's hard to tell. But
Baby
basically,
Park
I made a bunch
starters.
of like infection maps in Halo, Forge. I've just all different kinds of things. If I see a custom game that's a lot of fun, but I think it could be better, a lot of times I'll try to build a better version of it. And I guess same with Minecraft. I tried to make an adventure map, so I have half an adventure map laying around somewhere. That's pretty cool. It's like an escape from prison map. I built Baby Park and Peach Beach in Minecraft with help from others. But yeah, I don't know. So I guess there is a little bit of a, whenever a game has something where you can like make stuff, or like some editing maps mode, it is something I'm always interested in, and it's kind of why I liked Brawl. Smash Brothers Brawl. Yeah.
Dude, I loved Brawl as a kid.
Yep.
So at the beginning of that, I was saying to get away from the resume for a second. I had a question, and I just have no idea. I was just trying to think.
Was it related to
no
fast 80% that he mentioned?
No.
Okay.
Oh, 10 shines.
Oh yeah.
10 shines. Bopped Urinal Michael.
I have bopped Urinal Michael in 10 shines. That's what I would write on my resume. But no, I have like a 9 minute 11 seconds, I think, time in 10 shines. I've dabbled in Sunshine, but that's about it. I don't think I could do any percent.
He's a dabbler.
Yeah.
And I think one more thing I would add to your resume is you at least completed Welcome to the Game 2.
Yes, several times.
Which is a pretty tough game to beat, actually.
Yeah, actually it is, and maybe one day I'll have to hop back in and try to beat the elite mode, which is like, I hear 10 times harder, especially without all the glitches that the speedrunners are using now.
Yeah, you should have beat it legitimately. See how that goes.
I'm still trying to figure out what. I know I'm going to re-listen to that portion of the podcast, and it's just like, oh, this is where you were going, idiot.
Doesn't that just drive you crazy?
I just can't remember what I was. It was a good question, I think.
Was it about Titanfall or?
Yeah.
What else did we mention?
What go through your. What was I was thinking about Tetris. I don't remember.
Oh, you killed all the top 10 in
yeah,
Tetris?
I said that one. That was my cutoff thought. I cut myself off going from the resume to a different thing to mention the Tetris thing. I'm glad I mentioned the Tetris thing. Everybody know that I'm great at Tetris. Sometimes I'm really good at Tetris. For some reason, do you guys ever have this? Just a totally different thought, not what I was thinking about before. Do you guys ever feel like you play worse when you stream?
Yes.
I cannot, unless I get into it, like after I warm up for a bit, I feel like I can play Tetris really well off stream. Just right off the bat, I can get a win right off the bat. If I'm streaming it, it'll take me a few games, or at least. I won't even, I won't even get to that level of being good at Tetris, perhaps.
I have a theory for that, why that might be with Tetris specifically, is when you play that game offline, you just sort of shut your brain off and just, pattern recognition, just go to town. But when you're streaming it, part of your brain space is thinking, oh, people are in my chat showing up. I gotta acknowledge them sometimes. And that kind of messes with your Tetris vibes a bit,
Yeah, okay.
Could be part of it. But I think for other games like Sunshine and stuff, which have plenty of downtime and whatnot to look at chat, it won't affect you as much, perhaps.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Tetris, you're going and you're reading chat during it sometimes, which, messes with your mojo. That's all it is.
You have any thoughts, Pheonix?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's actually exactly it, because for me, it's not so much of a quandary. I know that it's because I'm constantly talking to my chat and reading chat in between attempts instead of more focused. And honestly, there have been streams where I swear it doesn't even feel like I'm playing Double Dash. It's like I'm on autopilot. And I only focus when I'm on pace, but even then it's like I'm just now focusing instead of having been focused the whole time. So yeah, I definitely think it's just a chat interaction thing, I guess.
The ideal place to be in when speedrunning is a flow state of not overly focused, but also not focused.
Mm-hmm.
Or not, double negative. You want to be focused, but not too much. And it can be hard to achieve that when you're also focused on entertaining viewers and whatnot. But sometimes it works towards you. Sometimes I feel like I play better on stream depending on the game or the day that it is.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, it just kind of depends.
See, it's weird with our subsect of Twitch, where it's just the speed gaming, the people that want to be really good at gaming and stuff like that, where there's a part of you that wants to be a good streamer, but there's also that part of you that wants to be really good at the game. And I feel like maybe there's just those gamers that want to be so good at the game that they just don't want to stream. They want to stream it, but they just I play worse because I have to pay attention to the chat.
That's why you see a lot of Sunshine runners streaming on their alt accounts with no mic and stuff, because they purely want to focus on the game.
But then why do they stream on their alt
account?
Well,
okay, my theory is you don't always want to be local recording. Maybe they just want to stream it, and that way it takes up way less hard drive space and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't know. They have the reasons, I suppose.
I feel like the mentality of the streamer has, in some ways, negatively impacted the mentality of being good at the game.
I think that Twitch making streaming way more accessible and adding all these gizmos and gadgets is slowly killing speedrunning. Conspiracy theory. Everyone wants to be a streamer now because being a streamer is so nice. You got all these gizmos and gadgets and the chat popping off and raid hype. It's but where's the focus on the gameplay, It's dying.
It's an interesting thought. Because, Reed, I don't know, Reed still streams micless and stuff like that, but, I feel like there should be not more of a focus on being focused on the game, but less of a, I can't.
Less of a streamer?
Less of a...
Stigma?
Stigma. That's exactly what it was. Less of a stigma towards somebody not being as active towards the chat, but I guess maybe that's not.
Well, okay, yeah. Here's the thing: is Siglimic, when he first started, when he was streaming on Twitch back in the day, when Siglimic was the speedrun streamer, he would almost always not use mic at all. It was just gameplay and splits, and he had 5,000 viewers all the time. Back then, it was way more acceptable to have a stream like that. Nowadays, to be a streamer, you're kind of expected to have chat interaction and face cam and all donation alerts and stuff,
Yeah.
The landscape's totally changed. I don't know if it's for the better or for the worse for speedrunning, but we will have to wait and see.
It's just a thought that I just had that was totally separate from the thought that I've totally forgotten. Pheonix, streams on twitch.tv, by the way. Pheonix spelled correctly. It's actually spelled incorrectly.
Good luck spelling that whole username, by the way.
What is it? Pheo? Why is Pheonix spelled Phoe?
It comes from the Germanic roots of. I have no idea.
All right, I asked a question that nobody had the answer to. That was my bad. But yeah, Pheonix streams on Pheonix spelled correctly.
You got to spell Pheonix with an EO, by the way. We'll link it in the description, but yeah.
Yes, Pheonix spelled correctly, and he's a great Mario Kart streamer. He's been streaming some Forge lately. What are your plans going forward? Like, you were talking about Titanfall and how you got top 10, but do you have any thoughts towards playing more Double Dash? I know you've been playing Mushroom City lately with Double Dash, and I've been lurking in those streams a little bit, but what are your thought process? What's your thought process towards that stuff?
Yeah, I actually do want to. Recently, I've been thinking I kind of want to make a push to just get better at Double Dash and clean up my players page, because like I mentioned earlier, it's kind of a mess, and I'll see players like Halo and Robber have both entered the top 10. Robber actually just did so a couple hours ago before.
Oh, wow, I had no idea Robber did. That's insane.
Yeah, I think he's ranked 10 as of now.
Nice.
And I feel like I can get times that are at their levels, but I still have, like, my DKM is still a 146, which is god awful. Yeah, and so like if I want to, actually be seen as someone as good as those two players, I would have to clean up my timesheet and prove that I can do what I do everywhere, So that I guess that's a goal going forward. Maybe another goal is to reach Apex Predator in Apex Legends before the end of the season. One of my friends, or I guess a friend of a friend, did it, and this is going to sound really mean, but I didn't think he was good enough to reach Apex Predator, but he did anyway, and it seemed super easy for him. So I was like, maybe.
Well, isn't Apex also more like, if you play more, you'll eventually get stuff?
Yeah, it is. It's definitely easier than other games because you can't really degrade as easily. But I don't know. I guess that's another thing I want to do. So Apex and Double Dash.
But also, you do. Pheonix has done some commentary for the Speedrun. What is it? The IL tournament for the Mario Kart Double Dash?
Yeah, on GSA. Yeah.
That we talked about a little bit with Optimistic Emo. And I just want to. This is a quick aside. You've suggested that I try to do commentary for Mario Kart Double Dash IL tournaments. In the same light.
Oh, you could definitely do it. Like, if we just like prep you on like the basic tricks to look out for and like sort of how each track kind of goes, it's pretty easy to learn.
In the same light, there's a Super Mario Sunshine bingo tournament again that we talked about a little bit.
Get those name suggestions in.
Get those name suggestions.
You're still listening to this at this point.
Just a quick aside. I just wonder what your answer would be, and I think it'd be a funny question. How comfortable would you be commentating Super Mario Sunshine?
Oh.
Apart from just the 10 shines that you know.
So if it was an any percent tourney, I would say I could probably do it. I don't think I'd do it well, but it'd be something I could do. If it was bingo, I think hell no. I wouldn't know what's going on. I wouldn't realize the unlocks and what is optimal to do first, and that I feel like bingos require very deep knowledge of the game, but at least any percent is a route that I've seen a lot, and I kind of know what things are supposed to look like, and I maybe know some strats in certain spots and compared to others, but so bingo no, any percent maybe.
If somebody was there doing all of the heavy lifting, would you be comfortable being the other guy?
For bingo?
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. For bingo?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm just asking.
Yeah, maybe because a lot of commentary, I mean, this is going to sound like anti-productive, I guess, but it doesn't always have to be exactly about the game. Of course, you got to catch the big moments, but sometimes keeping it entertaining and bouncing off of another commentator can go a long way, I guess. So yeah, I mean, maybe I could do that. Yeah.
All right, I will keep that in mind. Because there's coming up January 20th. For anybody that doesn't know, there is a bingo tournament within the Sunshine community, twitch.tv/Sunshine community if you're interested in that.
Or it's going to be streamed on it's going to be streamed on Speed Gaming.
Oh no, it's Speed Gaming. Yeah, all right. Also follow Sunshine community for shits. Why not?
For future stuff, but this one's going to be on Speed Gaming.
Twitch.tv/Speed Gaming, and there is going to be a lot of bingo tournaments each week. So like for each match, they're going to have a week to schedule it, and it will be on Speed Gaming. I wonder how it's going to end up, but there will be a lot each week. So you know what? There will probably be some opportunities for specifically Pheonix to maybe jump on the mic with me. I think that would be an interesting thought that I just had.
When Sid and I go 0-2, we'll have plenty of time to commentate stuff.
Exactly. But I thought that was maybe an interesting thought. But yeah, this podcast is... Does anybody have any closing thoughts on anything? Any final questions?
Before Pheonix potentially gives his, I just want to say I actually finished the script for the Pheonix WR history video that I'm working on. And I also started the process of recording some voiceovers, or as they say in the biz, wrecking some voes. I just made that up. I don't know what that is.
Okay, good.
I'm wrecking some voes for the Pheonix history video.
He can't discover things in video games, and he can't make any good slang.
But yeah, I'm working on that. Unfortunately, I've been too busy to stream, though I did stream a few days ago, the Good People Awards.
We'll talk about that next week.
We'll talk about that next time. Just, if you're curious, check the VOD out. If you have no idea what's going on, good. We'll explain it next episode. Don't worry. That's all I got. Anything from you, Pheonix?
Just want to say thanks for having me on. This was fun. I don't know. I hope the podcast listeners enjoy it. That's all.
Yeah, Pheonix is a great streamer, and everybody should follow him on Twitch. Do you have a you have a Twitter? I just don't know what it is offhand.
P correctly.
Yeah. At P correctly. Just
Nice.
the letter P and correct. I didn't do that on purpose, but whatever.
But it's a great handle regardless.
Yeah.
So yeah, that should be the end of the episode. Just so everybody knows, we're on Google Play and Spotify if you want to try to look us up there. Get your final submissions in for the bingo name because we have to decide by the end of the year. So
this is the final week to decide, so get them in, boys.
We have, by the time this posts, we have a week to submit. So this is going to be the last episode that we'll have the opportunity to take suggestions from. And we've been pondering ourselves. Everybody have a good week. And we'll see you next time for our summary of the Good People Awards on our guestless episode next week, probably. I don't know if we have really a thought on if we want 2 guests in a row. But anyway, thanks for coming, Pheonix, and everybody have a good whatever rest of your day time zone is.
Merry Christmas as well.
Oh, yeah, Merry Christmas, too. It's good.
And a Happy New Year.
Good way to end.
Peace.